Chris, have you ever woken up after Staints Patricks Day and in a dumpster?
No. And I'll go and throw out that I haven't woken up in a dumpster ever.
And never.
Woken up in a couple strange places, but never in a dumpster. And no, not after St. Patrick's Day.
Did you ever say, I'm awesome?
I have done some things that are like, I did immediately regret, but countered it with an I'm awesome to make sure that I didn't, actually let any of it sink in.
Yes, so you practice Barney's willful self-delusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just from time to time, sure.
Yeah. So we've never talked about Barney's psychological state, but this episode definitely lends credence to the fact that he's got some stuff going on he's not working on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, so does Ted. That's what I think at least half of the episode is about Ted not being in a place, like a good place where the mother that he ends up with, the mother, she is not the kind of person that would have liked that Ted at all. She would have been very turned off by him, and that'd have been it.
Yep.
It's it, done.
Bad timing.
Yep. No, yes, timing.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Himium Superfans. Welcome back. This is James Hamilton.
Hello, James Hamilton.
Over there is Chris Venezia.
That's me.
This is the podcast where we talk about the CBS comedy How I Met Your Mother.
So, we're going to try to ruin the show one more time?
We're going to ruin the show, and we're going to ruin St. Patrick's Day.
No, not St. Patrick's Day.
It's not actually Irish.
What?
It's Samoan. I made that up.
Yeah, I was like, what? You mean like the cookie?
Like the island of Samoa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, also, MotherFan Dan is here. I'm not sure if he's going to chime in or not, though, because he's doing something else.
He's busy.
He is around, though.
Hello.
What's your most memorable St. Patrick's Day?
Is it probably that one where Laura cooked all the food?
Yeah. I'm more like Marshal and Lily in this episode. I'd rather stay in, but instead of green tea, it would be lots of food.
Right. And smelling of hands.
Yes. Yeah. My hands smell like cabbage.
Right. Well, that would be a reason why one's hands would smell weird. I think his hands smelled weird because of the tea. Did you get like the tea bag on there?
Yeah.
You have a problem with the tea bagging, and then it created some sort of smell.
There's some tea bag problems in that relationship.
So my hands probably did smell like cabbage after one of those St. Patrick's Day cookouts.
So if you can't tell, tonight we're watching No Tomorrow, a.k.a. Low Point.
Yeah. Yes, right. Yeah, it goes to Low Point.
It's the name of the bar, and it's also a low point in Ted's life.
Yeah.
Maybe Barney's.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Barney's, it should be, but he's awesome. They name stuff in this, to be sort of obvious like that sometimes, but it's a terrible name for a bar.
Yeah.
It's
Well, better than okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the closest thing we've got here is a tumble in. It's the kind of thing where it's like you would only go to Low Point when you're at a low point. I mean, you wouldn't go there like when you're on top of the world. And you don't go to tumble in unless you're planning on tumbling in there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe tumbling out, I don't know. But, it's got a name that indicates the kind of mood you should be in when you attend.
Right.
There is a Low Point, Illinois.
Like a town?
Yeah.
Is it the lowest elevation?
I don't know why it's called that, but I just know it through
Is it Cairo?
post office.
It's Cairo.
Because that has a different name.
That one's called Cairo.
I was just thinking of what's the shittiest town in Illinois?
I don't know. Actually, if there's anybody still listening out there, maybe they can post that on our Facebook group. What is the worst town in Illinois? I don't even know that Brett can contribute to that because he lives in Ohio.
Well, Ohio, what's the worst city in Ohio? It's Cincinnati, right?
Take that, Cincinnati. Take that, Bengals. Reds.
So, this episode originally aired on St. Patrick's Day, 2008, written by the show creators, Bays and Thomas, and directed by Pam Fryman. Here's a fun fact about her. This one's true and not a lie.
Fun fact.
Unlike all our other facts that were lies.
Oh my god, we have alt facts in our podcast. We had been doing that. We did 2 years of alt facts about Pam Fryman.
We did. And since we did a year of alt facts, this year we're going to do true facts. True fact, Pam Fryman awarded the Dorothy Arzner Award in 2011 for Outstanding Achievement for Women Directors in Film and Television.
That's cool. Way to go, Pam.
Yeah. Other winners of that award include Joey Lauren Adams and several women you've probably never heard of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is a truth fact.
That is a truth fact. Also true, Pam is not the only award Pam won. She also won 2 Daytime Emmys for the soap opera Santa Barbara.
That doesn't seem believable. Is that
that one's true.
That one's true also?
Yeah.
That's also true?
Yeah.
Also a truth fact.
like 2 truths and a lie?
Yeah.
And the lie would be that I tried to rent a house from Pam Fryman, but she won't return our calls anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we didn't play that game right, but maybe next time we can do that.
So for folks who are just jumping in, we've done podcasts for every episode of Season 1 and Season 2 of the show, and we're jumping ahead here to Episode 12 of Season 3. So we're just going to recap what happened since the end of Season 2.
Go ahead and do that, because tonight I'm playing the part of the guy who didn't prepare. So
Ted is broken up with Robin, and he had a one-night stand with Amy, played by Mandy Moore, a.k.a. Julie from Scrubs.
Yes, Julie.
The female JD.
So funny.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then he gets a tramp stamp, almost goes to New Jersey. Then he has a threesome. He meets crazy blah blah chick online in World of Warcraft.
Right.
He's mistaken for a porn star, Lance Hardwood, sex architect.
God, that's good stuff.
And he dates Kathy. She talks a lot. And he meets Stella in the episode immediately before this one, but he doesn't try to date her until the next episode.
There's some weird timing with that. I remember, like, he goes on a date with her, and then, like, the next episode, we see what that date was like.
Yeah.
That was actually the Platinum Rule. He's trying to get ready for the date, and he spends, like, an hour on his hair and stuff, right. And then, like, I don't know, some stuff happened, though. Let's move forward. So which episode was Lance Hardwood in?
I'm Not That Guy.
I'm Not That Guy. Okay. Because as funny as that is, the Lance Hardwood sex architect, and like his character name is Ted Mosby.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the sex plane.
Like, that's really funny to me, and I forgot that episode existed until you were telling me about it earlier, and you reminded me. So I was like, I don't know, as memorable as it sounds, it was not memorable.
Yeah, remember that time we did that story about the porn star? No.
What was that again? Well, it looks like Tuckahoe Funland sort of took that episode.
Yeah, that one, actually a clever title, I'm Not That Guy, being as... I'm Ted Mosby, not that guy, the porn star, and also Marshal, I'm not that guy. Right. I'm not the guy who's going to work for Evil Corp.
Right, yes.
Turns out he is.
Yeah. Well, right, yeah, well, the money's good enough. But he doesn't stay there... doesn't stay there long enough to be around for, like, when the problems happen or something.
Right.
But, also, the Yips, I feel like we did that one, like, at least as maybe, like, a beta episode.
Well, there isn't a lot of stuff going on for Barney in this first part of the season, except for the Yips.
Right.
Where he loses his mojo, and we have to go back to his story with his brother during his hetero college phase.
Yes. Yep. Third Wheel, yep. That's a good one, yeah. Let's get the return of Danica Keller.
Yeah. And Busy Phillips, who was in Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, okay. So, you may have to cut this later in case this gets resolved before this episode airs. But did you hear about the guy who is eating a picture of Jason Segel every day and posting about it on Twitter? And he's going to continue to do that until Jason Segel eats a picture of him?
I heard that.
Okay.
And immediately clicked X.
Well, sure, but I would be doing a disservice to this show if I did not bring that up.
I think you should start eating a picture of Jason Segel or Danica McKellar every day.
Yeah,
Till she tells you about the pineapple.
Right.
Yes.
Or something about math. She's very good at math.
I'll tell you about math.
The doctor is a math doctor. It's a real thing. It's a real thing that you can get the doctor in. So we're going to, as we have been doing, watch the episode while we talk about it. You can sync up or you cannot.
Starts as many do with a little stock footage clip show, and I like that it goes from footage of an actual St. Patrick's Day to clearly a European country in some sort of riot.
Well, the bullfight, and then it seemed to. Oh, it got weird fast.
Yeah.
So Barney's got a green suit, no tie. It's weird that he doesn't have a tie, but it's not the first time. Won't be the last. His suit gets pretty messed up by the end of the episode, though.
He claims at the beginning that he's dry cleaned many stains off it, and we assume they're stains of a sexual nature, but they could just be the various pieces of garbage that he's laid in.
Right, all the dumpster stains.
Yeah.
Or both. He did one time talk about doing it in a porta potty. Said like his one rule was that you have to do it early in the day.
Oh yeah, that's a good plan. Is this the first time we get a "That's So Not Raven"?
It's the only time I remember it.
Is this the last time we get a "That's So Raven"?
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean the show was probably not even on the air when he made the joke. It's. I don't even think you could make it now. Like people wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Later they talk about a movie called Titanic. It's so old, I doubt anyone remembers that one.
Depends on how young our audience is, I suppose.
So here's Ted doing the New York Times crossword puzzle and butt dials Marshal. Remember butt dials?
I mean, yeah. Do you think that Yuli is in there?
Yuli's gold.
Because of the vowels.
Because of the vowels. Two like Ashley with two adjacent.
Yes, with two E's. Yes, two adjacent vowels. Yeah, I remember butt dialing, but all of my cell phones had some sort of guard on them to make sure that didn't happen.
If you've gotten a butt dial from someone you know has a new standard smartphone?
Sure.
I can't figure out how that happens.
Oh, occasionally I think some people that I know, like their kids call me. Like I'm like the last person that they called, or like somehow get in the call history and press on the button, but then they get bored and they throw the phone down because they're not even putting it up to their head and saying hello, which I've seen like a 1-year-old do. Put like a mouse up to her ear and go hello. They think a mouse is a phone.
Right. A computer mouse.
Yes, a computer mouse, not a soft animal.
Yeah.
So here, Marshal's hands smell weird.
They do smell weird.
Yeah. That's new. So that gets Ted out of the apartment.
Yeah, he can't stand it. And in this scene with the cab, they do a lot of cab scenes in the show, and this one I like that it's a little different in that they've sprayed the windows down for this rainstorm that they have, but it also makes it so that you can't see anything through the back window. And that kind of eliminates what they typically do is they'll run the stock footage of some car going down the street.
Yeah, and put some like lights back there periodically. I did like that. That was a nice extra touch. They actually try to do decent stuff with the cabs to make it look like they're moving, make it more believable. So you did want to mention about the mother in that shot right there where you see like the umbrella.
Yeah, the act ends on this little teaser of that nightclub, your mother was there, and they show a bunch of women with black umbrellas and then one yellow umbrella being led into the club, and we are to assume that's Tracy. But if it is Tracy, Tracy has a spare dress inside the club, because in the episode How Your Mother Met Me, she's clearly wearing a dress and not what I believe that woman was wearing, jeans and a black coat or something.
I mean, you can. I don't know about the coat, maybe, but it did look like jeans. Even look like the ones with like the flared bottom, like at the almost a bell, but not quite, tied around the knee. Nice jeans. I like them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd wear them, but I mean, I like them enough to talk about them. Apparently,
They look good on my floor. So,
So
Barney here is he's trying to get into the club, and it seems like it's kind of a mix. Like, he goes in with confidence, like you expect Barney to bribe his way into clubs all the time, but maybe it's something about this bouncer being a different color than him, where he tries to give the fist bump, and then he's like self-conscious. Like,
it could be.
Was that? Or am I reading too much into it?
I don't know. I mean, he has a black brother, so like you think he'd be used to
He'd be
black
cool.
people, but I don't know. I mean, he does sort of lose his confidence, but then once he finds out that it's all women in there, then I mean, he's suddenly very confident, and he's like, "Well, let's go. You know, let's go in there." He said we can go in there.
Well,
we don't even have to bribe the guy.
I like that story, that there's never been a shortage of dudes.
Since the great dude shortage of 1883.
Later in the bar, you get to see there's lots of women in that bar and very few men.
I would think that Tracy wearing a dress in How Your Mother Met Me would be something that they would... I mean, all they had to do was go back and watch one... No, that's not true. That was a lie. All right, I was just about to say all they had to do is go back and watch one episode to make sure that they got that right. That episode covers like 20 different tie-ins throughout the series, so... They probably missed that 1 second of a fake mother wearing jeans.
Right.
Yeah, I got about halfway through that, and I was like, wait, no, that wasn't the only thing in that episode.
Not a truth fact.
No, not this time. So
we've been quoting a lot of lines for this episode, not having seen it in a while. My favorite is when the Marshal and Lily are excited to go through their new apartment and see if the previous owners left any stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Marshal finds a nail in the wall, and he says, "Hey, Lil, free nail!"
Yeah, I don't think Marshal understands what Lily meant by free stuff. Like, she finds a skateboard and a colander. Marshal found a nail.
Yeah.
Good job, Marshal. So, in true sitcom fashion, Marshal is going to try to keep some information from Lily for no reason, because she is going to find out. There's no reason to keep it from her. You should tell her immediately. And, I don't know, did I miss anything? Beat that horse. So anyway, what about the skateboard thing here where Lily sets it down?
I love that little bit with the skateboard. She comes out and just sets it down, and it starts rolling, obviously, because the floors are crooked, and Marshal just steps like a half step back and just casually puts his foot on it, not drawing attention to it. Very, very smooth blocking.
It is the only smooth thing that he will do in this episode. Because the rest of it has to do with a racist ghost that he just keeps digging that story, into the ground.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Marshal came up with that story so quickly, because in other parts of the series where he has to lie or he's trying to be Barney's wingman, he gets very flustered very quickly, and here he's like, Confederate general, and he comes up with the backup facts, which was this thing that he couldn't do when he was with Barney. It's like, what kind of power fuels your spaceship?
Right. Yeah, I don't have a spaceship.
I don't have a spaceship.
You're right, but I feel like it didn't work in that the coming up with stuff wasn't helping. What needed to happen there was there just had to be a real brief story. Like with Barney, it needed to be a really in-depth story. Like, what kind of fuel does it take? How fast can it go? What places have you visited? These are all things you need to be able to come up with an answer for right away. But, they just saw the ghost for a second. He knows nothing about it, or what battle he died in. The more information you give, the less credibility you have. And so it still sort of works. Like, he's bad at it, but he's bad at it in a completely different way.
Yeah, that's a good observation. If it was really a ghost, then why did you get all this information?
Yeah, right. How long was she gone? They had a whole conversation with this ghost.
Yeah.
So this is the part, where Barney's telling Ted about what the universe is telling him as his eyes closed. Like, are you still there?
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that a lot because Ted has done things that are exactly like that before. Or like shut a door on
Yes.
Barney or something, or like, walk away. I'm actually a little surprised Ted's still there. But in this episode, they're really clicking. This is like one of the few times where Barney's like, I got a scheme, and Ted's actually more in it than Barney is. Like with the, putting stuff on somebody else's tab. That's not usually Barney's thing.
Yeah.
Like, lie to a woman, trick a woman into sleeping with you, sure. But don't steal from people.
Right. And Barney doesn't have to steal because
That's right.
he's got his crazy, stupid money.
Right.
This is such an odd turn for Ted in this part of the series because I expect this stuff after divorce. He does a bunch of crazy stuff after the divorce. Or after the...
yeah, it's like, we didn't quite get married.
After the being left at the altar, he does a bunch of crazy stuff that we can excuse. But here, he really hasn't done that much. He had that breakup with Robin, but at this point in the story, that was like half a year ago, and he's nailed at least 4 other women since then.
That's
2 at the same time.
Right. Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Did it? Did you do it?
Maybe.
You didn't do it. Did you do it? Yeah, and he also did with Amy or Julie.
We presume. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was that. No, I just mean that was sort of like a crazy moment. He was like let's go break into, like some place, like use their hot tub without their permission.
Right.
Totally fine. It's like he's Breaking Bad or something.
Right, and in that episode,
I don't even know if I used that term correctly.
That episode, they set it up well in that it's right after Gael comes back, and so he's super jelly.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But he does still do that. Like, you'd think he's gotten a little bit out of his system, but no, he's got more oats to sow.
Yeah, gotta do more.
I don't know. I sometimes feel like that. I haven't gotten that way in a while, but occasionally get that sort of wild hair, and you just be like, I gotta do something stupid. I know it's stupid. I gotta do it anyway.
Yeah, well, Ted's not done yet, and all he needed was a little push from Barney and the suggestion of St. Patrick's Day, and a lot of people lose control on that day, so that's your excuse, Ted.
Yeah.
Go for it. Plus, this episode is a lot about cosmic, ethical questions and odd scenarios, like a nightclub that is mostly women, that's not a lesbian bar,
right,
is unusual. Getting 2 bottles of Dom Perignon and a free ounce of caviar for free, very unlikely.
It's true. I mean, I feel like in this episode, Ted learns some, like, valuable... It actually even still looks confused that any of this is working in that last shot. But, he learns some lessons on, like he tries some stuff, but he realizes it's not really what he wants to be. It kind of needs the rude awakening from Marshal at the end of the episode to get there, to put those pieces together. But, yeah, that's not the kind of guy he wants to be.
Yeah.
It might be fun to just go nuts once in a while, but he doesn't really want to be spending his time trying to seduce a married woman.
And it makes sense because after this episode, he turns his attention to Stella, and that becomes the focus of the next half of the season and half of the next season.
Yeah.
So this is, that scene at the end where Marshal's yelling at him is the point where Ted's getting the lecture from his father. You need to grow up. Stop fucking around.
Yeah. It sort of doesn't help, though, because, he goes after Stella, which, I don't know, I'd say arguably isn't... There's nothing wrong with that decision. It just ends so badly. Maybe there were some signs along the way. It could have been like maybe she's not the one. Like
where she kept telling him that I don't want to date you.
Yeah.
Might have been one of the signs.
You'd think. So what's going on with Robin in this episode? She didn't want to go out for St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, not a lot has happened to Robin since the end of season 2. She comes back with Gael. Mm-hmm. There's like a 2-episode arc there. She briefly dates Doug's dad. Remember Doug the kid?
Yeah, Doug the kid.
Yeah.
Name's Robin, like the bird. Not cheating if her name has 2 adjacent vowels. So by that logic, Ashley with 2 E's can cheat as much as she wants to, because she's the one cheating, not Ted. So just by virtue of her name having 2 E's back to back, she can... It's not cheating. I was going to say she can cheat as much as she wants to. It's not even cheating.
Yes. Yeah, according to Barney.
According to Barney.
He has so many theories. So what Marshall and Lily are doing in this episode is called catastrophizing.
Okay. Although they're doing it kind of blandly, and
They're mild catastrophes.
Yeah, somewhat comedic. It's like the pinball machine,
yes.
or at least Marshall is doing it wrong.
Right.
If you're going to catastrophize, I suppose you should do it.
Even in Marshall's catastrophe, he has a pinball machine.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
And spare books.
Yeah.
Although I suppose lots of people have spare books. So I'm just going to go ahead and rule your Chekhov moment. Chekhov's gun you were mentioning before we were recording. Or did we record that? I don't know. Where Ted butt dials.
Yeah.
And then that comes up later in the episode, and you have no idea why that's going to be a thing. But his whole evening's been recorded for Marshall. The skateboard and the salad strainer are the same thing. Like, you assume that they're not going to have any sort of purpose in the episode, but it's both the vehicle for their game and the helmet.
Right.
Because when you hit the wall, you're going to want to wear a salad strainer on your head to protect your cranium.
Of course.
So it's like I was thinking, well, they serve no purpose. Of course they do.
Yes.
Of course they thought ahead and they planted something earlier in the episode.
And they also had plans for that nail, but they can't show that on TV.
Oh my.
So here we are at the end of the episode. Marshall's dressed for his job at work, and Ted's just rolling out of bed. Doesn't seem too hungover.
I imagine, I don't know. He didn't wake up in a dumpster. I don't know, he did say he stayed out all night.
Maybe he just got home.
That could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Maybe he did go home with Ashley.
He certainly didn't say that, and Marshall seemed to think that the most offensive thing that Ted did was kiss a married woman. So he probably would have mentioned the boning if that had happened. But I'm guessing, just going to throw out my theory here, is that Ted's called in sick to work because he's not feeling good and he has a black eye.
Yeah.
And so he's going to stay home, and that's why he's not dressed. But yeah, he probably slept in a little bit anyway.
I like that when they do the voicemails, they cut back to the scenes at the bar, but they've desaturated the colors a little bit, up the contrast, and gives it that little foggy memory type of feel, which kind of makes sense if Ted was drinking all night. He's not remembering things as well.
Yeah, this actually, and what you're just saying leads into the idea of like Ted is the unreliable narrator. It's like he's been telling this episode, as he does every episode, like we just watch what's happening and assume that it's all true. When they go back to listen to the phone calls, they're close to what we saw earlier, but they're distinctly different. Mm-hmm. He's more drunk or more douchey in every scene, and the way that people are reacting to him, including Ashley, is similar but slightly different.
Right.
She's like still wants to sleep with him, I guess, but she's kind of annoyed by how drunk he is. Like she's got that look on his face, like, wow, this guy is a little much.
Yeah.
But not enough to make her say no.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
But I don't know. It's this like he remembers it and he's telling it differently than it actually happened, and I think that's interesting.
It's a nice piece of like perception mixing that they do often in the show. And from Ted's perspective, Ashley was totally into it when he was saying, I don't want a relationship, I just want to sleep with you. Mm-hmm. And if you watch the voicemail version, Ashley's face is sort of like, gross, jerk.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. But still okay with it.
But yeah, still, he's got Dom and caviar.
I mean, it's possible that she went there planning on going home with somebody.
Yeah.
And he's clearly the most obvious choice.
Yes.
Since he said he'd be into that.
Yeah.
And there aren't a whole lot of guys there.
No.
This is the great dude shortage.
That one weirdo in the green suit.
Right, yeah. Ah, man. I feel like that would work, though, for some people. Some people really dig that.
Yeah.
Here's the dumpster scene.
One of the jokes about Barney's green suit was NBA player sidelined by an injury, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
What's that yellow color that you like talking about?
Chartreuse?
Well, I don't think there's a P in it.
Chartreuse?
There you go. Yes, but yeah, it's yellow. It's just yellow.
I've been saying it for years. I had no idea what color it was.
So, that's that episode.
So, one more thing, a question for both you and MotherFan. Does Ted taking the umbrella, which the mother clearly left at the bar, count as stealing?
That's an interesting question that I have a specific perspective on, like an actual real-life example.
You'd have to ask Misty Harbor.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, because this is all Chris.
I actually did do that exact thing one night. I was out at a bar, and it was late, and like the booth that we were sitting in, like the people who were there before left, and they left their umbrella. And instead of like giving it to the bar, I'm like, here's this umbrella I found. I used the umbrella, and I felt bad about it for a little while. I have forgiven myself. I'm okay.
Was it pouring down rain when you left?
I don't think so.
That's the question. There was a reason.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd be wet.
Yes. People don't like being wet, though, when they aren't choosing it, you know?
Yeah.
That's true. So, yeah, I'm going to go with stealing and forgivable.
Good. I agree.
Okay. Because I can't take it back now. Yeah. That would be weird.
She left it at the bar. Clearly, this woman doesn't take good care of her things.
Right. She doesn't deserve nice things because she left it.
Maybe if drunk Ted had met her, he wouldn't have been right for her either, because she's the kind of chick who just leaves expensive yellow umbrellas all over town. Mm-hmm. Like some sort of harpy.
Sounds like a Robin joke.
Yes.
Leaving moisturizer all over town.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably shouldn't do stuff like that, but, you know, there are worse things. I didn't steal 2 bottles of Dom Perignon.
So, folks, we hope you've enjoyed our little St. Patrick's Day look at How I Met Your Mother. If you're still here, come the next holiday, maybe we will also.
Maybe not. Is there an Easter episode?
Doubt it.
A Feast of the Ascension episode?
Memorial Day.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
Alright, well, thanks for joining us, folks. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Peace out, hombre!